Hello to all those who will be watching the recording online. I am Jason Applegate, a board member of the Ethnic Heritage Council, and I'm here today with Rita Zawaideh. For decades, Rita has been an advocate and changemaker on behalf of Middle Eastern and North African communities in the United States and around the world. Rita was born in Jordan and grew up in Seattle. She founded the Salam Cultural Museum and an international humanitarian organization providing support to refugees and immigrants. She is the 2020 Spirit of Liberty Award winner, an award given by the Ethnic Heritage Council to naturalized citizens who have made a significant contribution to their ethnic community and ethnic heritage, as well as to the community at large. The Ethnic Heritage Council is pleased to honor you, Rita, with this award and for you to join us today for this interview. I'm amazed about your humanitarian.
Thank you very much. Very honored.
I'm really amazed about all the humanitarian work that you do. And I'm really curious if you could speak to what inspires you to work so hard and with such dedication on humanitarian work. Why? Is there some story from your childhood that shaped your involvement and commitment to humanitarian work?
You know, I think it's being an immigrant myself, having come to the U.S. In 1956, you know, when you didn't have that many immigrants coming in, and you know, how we were sort of taken at the time with the family coming through and stuff, and just seeing all the support that was, you know, that you need, type of thing. So, and I was raised by a family that said, you know, you just help anybody that needs help.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. In the aftermath of September 11th, 2001, you led the formation of the Arab American Community Coalition and helped to reduce the hate crime escalations, and you helped to reduce unnecessary profiling by the police, and also helped to reduce mistrust in the community. As the tensions at the time were developing, you also helped sponsor visits to Baghdad by members of Congress. I imagine during that time you had to overcome a lot of obstacles and challenges. During this period, please tell us about some of the hurdles that you personally faced and how did you overcome them? Tell us about an example of an obstacle you overcame during this period.
You know, Jason, to be honest with you, I think it's a lot harder these days than it was during that time. We had more help from Federal Express, United Airlines, Royal Jordanian Airlines. I mean, different companies. You had different rules at the time, so it was easy for us to get medical supplies in. And I would have Federal Express would go out and pick them up from all the different hospitals. There was no stopping on that. We had a warehouse that was given to us. We had the Bullitt family that gave a space downtown Seattle for an office. And, you know, it was, you know, wasn't really easy, but it was so much easier than now, because nowadays, you can't get hospital supplies. They can't be donated to you. There's expiration dates. The hospitals have to destroy them. You can't get items into, you know, certain countries. You can't do things. So, you know, during that Iraq War, it was a lot of people believed in the war. There's a lot of people that didn't believe in the war, so we're able to, you know, to get the people that didn't believe in the war. So it was easy to get, like Congressman Jim McDermott to get in. We ended up going into Jordan. I would meet the different people there. I would use my tour buses as medical supply buses to get into Iraq. We had the Jordanian Airlines that, and the helicopters, the military would take the medical goods into the country. You know, it was really, when I think about it, it's so much easier now at that time than it is now. Now I have so many difficulties in that there's so many laws and regulations, and that you're not able to use certain names of countries, and if you are, the banks stop you, and you can't get donations, and it's just very, very difficult period.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting to hear. I was not aware of
I'm
all
sorry,
these
you
things.
keep breaking up, so I can't hear you.
Oh. I was saying it's very interesting to hear that this is the situation. That there's all this red tape and difficulties now, preventing making it easier as it was back then. That's really interesting to
Yeah, but
know.
it wasn't even the COVID-19 that is causing a lot of these problems. It's just the different administrations, it's the legal laws that we've came in through the health systems that can't do donations like they were before.
Mm,
There's just all these changes. I mean, we had medical um, medicines and equipment that was just unbelievable how much we got at the time. Now we're just sort of scraping to get it, and we don't get it from institutions. Now we get it from individuals. It's a different ballgame.
mm. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Um, I'm really curious about the Salam Cultural Museum. Why did you found the Salam Cultural Museum?
That's I'm very much into my heritage, and I wanted children that were born as Arab Americans to understand their heritage and appreciate it, and not all the stereotypes that were going on. You tell someone you're an Arab and they say, "Oh, where's your can of oil?" Or "Where's your camel?" or that you are. When did you convert to become a Christian? I'm like, excuse me, but where do you think Christianity started? People just don't end up realizing it. And so it actually started back in the 70s, where there were the two English guys that were in London that had increased the price of silver. And I was visiting Egypt at the time and saw people bringing in old jewelry and old pieces of silver, and they were selling it, and the markets were melting it down for money. And I thought, this is sad. So I ended up taking a rug and sitting down with the merchants in the marketplace in Egypt and in the Khans Khalili, and started buying the silver, and then I would bring it back to the US with me and just keep it. And the same thing that was happening with straw baskets and old clothing, that was just being destroyed. And I thought, wow, we're not going to have anything of our heritage. So that's what the museum was started about, was the idea of keeping that and letting the kids appreciate it and know where they came from, in a sense, so that they could really talk about the history of the Middle East, but also be proud of where they came from, if it's Jordan or Syria or Yemen or any other country out there.
Oh, that's really wonderful and inspiring. Can you tell us something about Arab American culture in America that not everyone might be aware of?
Well, I think the one that I mentioned actually is that not all Arabs are Muslims. People think that every Arab is a Muslim, and they can have 4 wives, and they have all these stereotypes they've seen in Hollywood or has come out in the media. So we educate people about the different religions of the region, that we have lived together for centuries. It's not new. And, just to show how open people are in the Middle East. I mean, I was raised to always cook a lot of food, because anybody might come over at any time. So you needed to be able to entertain the people when they came through to visit you, that type of thing. So I think people just don't realize who Arabs are. I mean, we've always been looked at as the terrorists or the people to be scared of, and that's not who we are. And one of the reasons that I started my tour company was to be able to take people to the Middle East, and not just show them the sights, but take them to homes, have them meet people, have them come back and not just say they bought a rug or a pot, but we met great family that invited us in, you know. I mean, I'd walk the streets in Old Aleppo and I'd have a group of 15 Americans or whatever, and someone would say in the street, "Hey, Rita, you know, bring your friends and come over for breakfast tomorrow." And it would just throw, you know, the like, people all over your house. You know, they're always very shocked at it. So that's what I just want to open up. And I believe it opened it up because that's one of the things with SCM now, that I have all these clients and people that have left. And with the war in Syria, they can say, how can we help? You know, what happened to this person and that person?
Mm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's really
Oh,
powerful.
thank you.
And I about all your humanitarian work. I know in 2015, you were active with your humanitarian work on Lesbos, Greece, for refugees there. I know right now, it being June 2020, we are at the height of a pandemic, which is a global crisis with health, economic, social, and geopolitical dimensions that are impacting the most vulnerable globally. Please tell us about what you are hearing is happening to refugees now. What help is needed now?
Oh my God, how can you tell it? It's the help all over the world is needed, and refugees in particular, because they don't have roofs over their head, or they're living in camps and they're in very close, confined quarters. So in Idlib in Syria, the pandemic has really spread. And it's very, very hard, and people are very worried about their children. Also in Samos, Greece, and in Lesbos, we were first responders when we went in. And a lot of people from the Seattle area, from Bainbridge Island and Whidbey, they all volunteered and they paid their own way and went there. And I had people on the ground. We took them around. We were on the shores. We would wait with people. We would get the refugees in. Now you don't have the same thing. Greece is not wanting the refugees, so they're turning a lot of the boats away, or they're trying to sink the boats. There's a fight between Greece and Turkey, so Turkey's letting the boats of refugees go through. They're stopped midstream, and the Greeks stop them and send them back to Turkey. Turkey gets them back, and then they pick them up and they send them back across the borders into Syria. You know, Europe has closed all their borders before the pandemic, and now with the pandemic, it's even worse. We do a lot of work with the LGBT community right now, and we got clients that are stuck in Serbia that we can't get out. We have them stuck in other places through Europe that nobody will take them in. And, you know, already being gay in the Middle East is really disastrous to your health. But now with the virus going on, that's even worse with countries that have closed their borders. That's worse. So, you know, we're trying to do everything we can with everybody. So a lot of help is needed in if people just want to give moral support, want to talk to people, we can put them in touch with them. If they want to donate money, they want to donate gift cards, you know, write to the congressmen and senators to open up the borders and let some people come into the U.S., take out this Muslim ban that we have. I mean, there is so much stuff. And to be honest with you, Washington State is, the people here are so open and so willing to work. SCM is a total volunteer organization, and nobody gets paid at all. There's no staffing, there's no nothing. It's all volunteer. I donate my office space, my garages. You know, you wouldn't believe it, the amount of stuff that we get in. And you know, 100% of the money that people give us goes back directly to the refugees. And we try and document everything. We post pictures online of everything that is done. So we see people across the U.S. that knit blankets and knitted things and stuff, and they send them to us. And then all of a sudden I get a call or an email or a text, and the wife says, my husband says he saw a picture of the blanket that I knitted and it was being given to a child. He was so proud of me. He sent it to all his friends. So we show people exactly where their stuff goes. We are a small organization, but we want people to be able to track what they give us and not let it get lost, in a sense. So they are part of the situation and they are helping and they know it. And maybe they, and now with the virus, there are a lot of our homes. So a lot of men and women and kids are doing projects to help refugees. I think the other day I sent you pictures of, we just had a container that went out, a 40-foot container. I had people that were here that loaded that container with humanitarian goods and clothing and shoes and medicine and wheelchairs, everything that we got donated. It was great. And the money that we get for that is through selling our really used clothing to Goodwill. They pay us 20 cents a pound. So people donate, and I pay for the container. And the good stuff we keep, and we send it overseas if it's appropriate.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. That's just such amazing
Sorry, I couldn't
work
hear
that
you.
you do. I was saying that is such amazing good work, and to hear about that's so great. That's so wonderful. People's generosity in these times. In these uncertain times, please tell us about the importance of ethnic organizations.
It's really important for different ethnic groups to be able to work together. And because the U.S. is a melting pot of ethnic groups. I mean, that's where everyone came. I mean, when my family came here, we were told everything was available. Money grows on trees. You can make do. You can make it no matter what. You might have to work 2, 3, or 4 jobs and get educated, but you are there and you will end up meeting your friends and neighbors. And what's sad is some of the stuff that's happening now where we're splitting our communities, and that's not what we want to do. The other day, 2 weeks, no, a week ago, we ended up donating food from a Syrian restaurant, and we donated it to Black Lives Matter because I want people to understand that we know what they're going through. We've been stereotyped, and things have happened to us, and you got Arabs that are all different shades and colors and sizes. And we believe in helping with the Black Lives Matter. What's happening right now, we saw it happen to us after 9/11, where anyone looked like a Middle Easterner or Semitic or something, or whether they were picked up by the police or they were questioned, or FBI would come to your houses and stuff. So, we have to stick together. Neighbors have to stick together. Friends have to stick together. And this container that, like I said, we just had it yesterday. I had Iraqis and Syrians and Americans, and we had people from Brazil and Puerto Rico. I mean, all different nationalities and groups working together for one cause. And that's what America's about.
Oh, that's so wonderful, and it gives us so much hope that there are these people, and everyone is still coming together when things are so difficult. There's hope, and that's really wonderful to hear.
There really is. And we need it for our kids. We need it for the new generation that's coming up to understand that, to see that there's no color, that you have a friend, but you don't know what color he is. It doesn't matter to you. He's your friend. That's it.
Oh, yes, yeah. And the Ethnic Heritage Council has been for 40 years. We're actually in our 40th anniversary, working and helping everyone with different ethnic heritages to come together and support everyone in coming together and understanding, and also supporting and preserving heritage. And I want to ask you, why is your ethnic heritage important to you and your community?
Because I'm proud of who I am. You know, I think that's all I can say about it. You know, I'm proud of being an Arab and being an American.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much, Rita. It's been an honor to speak with you. It's been really amazing to hear all the stories and generosity and all your hard work in this area. Thank you. It's such an honor. And I want to,
Thank you so
encourage.
much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to encourage all those who will be listening to the recording, hit the like button and share this with your friends so people can hear the amazing story from Rita. So please share it so that people know about all her good work with her organization. Thank you, Rita.